Bonnie's Terror, take one. Mark.
I moved into this house in November 2017. It's an 1840s farmhouse on 20 acres. Beautiful property. Much bigger house than what we came from. I love the house and I couldn't wait to start making changes. Just having fun with it. This is just something I always wanted.
Bonnie and her husband Steve had left the city and were hoping to enjoy retirement in what should have been their dream home. Their excitement didn't last long.
I was just a little off about sleeping upstairs because first few times I did, I would hear, typical sounds. I figured it's a newer environment.
What is that? Steve?
The sounds I was hearing above the master sounded like somebody walking in the attic, walking around above the bedroom. Floorboards like creaking.
What? Those noises.
Holy!
5 o'clock in the morning, we woke up to all the smoke alarms going off in the house. I thought something was happening with the house.
Turn off the alarm!
I picked up cigarette smells, cigars. No one smokes here. The smoke detectors are hardwired, so there are no batteries. And they went off at the same time in different areas of the house. And they stayed on. I couldn't find any valid reason why they would have gone off.
Bonnie tried to put the strange events down to the quirks of an old and unfamiliar house.
5 minutes into reading, I heard a loud crash. The wrought iron grate built into the fireplace just fell right out onto the floor. It's a heavy piece of metal. It just popped out onto the floor. I immediately jumped up to see what caused this, and I just can't, it doesn't make sense how it could just on its own pop out of the wall. I asked a question. I said, is there anyone in this room with me? I was surprised to hear a voice back saying, in a low whisper, me, a male's voice. It was a low whisper saying me in a long E sound. It only seemed to happen to me when I'm by myself. That startled me.
The unexplained activity made Bonnie nervous to be home alone. So when Steve had to head back to the city for a few weeks to sell their old home, she was full of dread.
Do you have to go?
I knew I was going to be here by myself until my husband could sell the other house.
I'll see you soon.
I felt much safer when I wasn't in the house by myself. There's a few times when I feel like people are watching me, or something's watching me. Because it is the fear of not knowing what's there or who's there. I was settling into my bedroom for the night. I just felt something there. The temperature in the room would change. I'd feel cold. I remember looking towards the wall area, and it was as if somebody was standing there.
Get to you!
and said, "Death to you," in a loud voice. And it wasn't a dream. It was very loud and clear. Death to you! 3 words, death to you. That made me very upset. That scared me. Because that's, right away, that's a horrific thing for anyone to hear. Death to you! This was looking to cause harm to me. Ultimately, just what he said, death to you. This entity or whatever does not want me here. That scared me. Do I have to watch everywhere I go? Is this like a warning? That's how I took it.
If a spirit yells death to you, that's absolutely terrifying and disconcerting. That is a warning to the person living there that they have now become a target for a specific entity.
From that moment on, Bonnie was too scared to sleep.
Night terrors, panic attacks, or wake up middle of the night, panic and anxiety. It was just uncontrollable. My biggest concern and my biggest fear, I was afraid someone was going to push me down the stairs because I felt that whatever's here does not want me in this house. It made it quite clear.
Bonnie's fears would soon be realized as the activity became physical.
I was doing some minor cleaning. This coffee table we have. And I just fell forward as if I was pushed.
Bonnie Tchaikovsky and her husband had bought their dream farmhouse, but not long after moving in, Bonnie was being targeted by a territorial ghost who was getting increasingly violent.
It happened so fast, I thought that was it. To protect myself from falling, my hand went through the glass. My hand was cut up very badly. I definitely believe that I was pushed into the table. I believe it was calculated. Whatever wanted to push me into this was trying to hurt me. I was scared. I was scared for my life. Desperately needed help.
Afraid, Bonnie begged her husband Steve to come home. And then the pair sought the help of paranormal investigator Kevin Hart.
When Bonnie first contacted me, and she told me some of the stuff that was going on, and the thing that concerned me was the possibility of physical harm. That's when I was concerned.
Is this fine to set up right here?
Sure.
It wasn't long before Kevin got a taste of what Bonnie and Steve had been enduring.
Is that normal? You guys hear that a lot?
Whoa.
You hear that?
When you can hear the floorboards creaking as if someone's like shifting their weight, and the doorknob rattling.
There's definitely something here.
Shocked at the intensity of the activity, Kevin used an audio recorder to see if he could communicate with the spirit.
We're going to be doing some audio recordings. Is there someone here?
And we started asking questions. Why are you here? Just trying to get a name.
There's someone here? Maybe someone who lived in the house before? Would you like to talk to us?
What got me was when Bonnie asked the question,
Do you like what I've done with the kitchen?
and you hear, get out.
Very, very firm voice, very angry. No, get out. It was very upsetting, yes. Very upsetting.
It confirmed what she was going through before. This was the definitive proof.
And I felt validated that there is something going on here.
My conclusion was there wasn't something demonic going on here, but the spirit was a previous owner, and he did not want anything changing. He didn't want anyone bothering him in his home.
Some ghosts get angry that people reside in their homes because they believe that that home still belongs to them.
Sometimes in death, a spirit doesn't necessarily cross over. And so they're still occupying that space or that location. And they feel that you're intruding on their space. And they're going to get angry and they're going to try and get you out. It's their space and they want it back.
After confirming the presence of a territorial spirit, Kevin tried to let it know it no longer had a claim to the house.
This family means you no harm. It's their house now.
I believe I was the target, being a strong female, making big decisions on the house. Upset one of the owners or whoever is in this house, and that didn't like the idea of a female making these decisions and was letting us know that he was not happy with it.
This family means you no harm.
So I just sternly talked to the spirits, and I just basically said, look, you got to accept Bonnie as the new homeowner, or you're going to have to leave.
This family means you no harm! This is their home now! Leave them alone! Get out!
The spirit had gone.
Thank you.
And Kevin left Bonnie and Steve in peace in their dream home.
After the investigation, I did notice that the house was quieter, less stressful environment. There was a sense of peace.
We do coexist with spirits. They're all around us. There was no reason for them to be harmful.
Yeah. Since that time, nothing has happened. We haven't had any incidents. I respect the house. I always did, the property. I'm certainly not going to make any changes, drastic changes to this house. Try to do anything that would upset or cause us to start again. I've always believed in the paranormal, but now that I've actually lived it and I've experienced it personally, it's just a different feeling when it actually happens to you.